morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Hey. Coming in sounding like butter already.
Like butter, baby.
Check 1 2 1 2. Oh yeah. Friday already? It's Friday already, huh?
Mm-hmm. Wow. You know what day it is? It's Friday. You ain't got no job. Rest in peace to the one and only John Witherspoon.
Man. Got to coordinate.
Man, you got to coordinate. You did.
All right. Camera's looking good. Mic sounds nice. Radio channels up. All systems go.
All systems go.
Try yippee-yi-yay. I'll throw mine in before she come in with that long one.
Oh, right on time.
Right on time.
On your head top.
Hey. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Another fresh edition of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All be the dove, buddy to God. All of you, chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. What is it? August the 25th?
Man, already. Yeah. Already.
Coming up on the 1st. You know what that means? Rent.
My side.
I feel like it stabbed you in the side. Shout out to the 630 Club. They already gave me some feedback. Shout out to Beth giving me feedback on the music. Said she's listening from Minneapolis this morning.
Okay.
Up north. Said that Texas heat couldn't deal with it no more.
Man, up top. Minneapolis is pretty nice, man. Been there a couple times myself.
Oh yeah.
You know, hop, skip, and jump from Omaha, man. Pops took me to a couple Vikings games before the dome imploded.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. That was definitely one of the reasons why I was like, Omaha's only 6 hours away from the purple Disneyland. The Mecca. So yeah, I was definitely spent some time up there myself for sure, man. Minneapolis is off the chain.
Yeah,
have you been purified in the waters of Lake Minnetonka though?
No, but I did go to Six Flags over the lakes. That was pretty nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Roller coaster, rushing towards a lake.
Whoa,
exhilarating.
Sounds intense.
It was.
Good morning to all. I see everybody coming in on YouTube. Like Leia Keister came on right on time with that. I told you she's gonna give us a long one today. Buddy, do you feel like tackling that?
I mean, I don't know. You kind of spoke it into existence, man. I feel like you were asking for it.
It's my bad. All right, I'll give it a try. Happy fry yo yippee yo yippee yo yay.
All right, there you go.
That was smooth.
There you go. She does that to make sure we're waking up, like we're up in the morning.
It's her gymnastics, the tongue gymnastics that you got to do in the morning.
You know the actors,
the how now brown cow.
Yeah. Me.
Miss Erica Felt gives us a good morning. Pops gives us a good morning. She says good Friday morning, Paul and Buddy, and mad love to you and the entire First Sky fam. Appreciate you, Pops.
Everybody.
Yeah, talking about. I know you're talking about John Witherspoon, one of the funniest men ever. For real. Man. I remember the very first time that I ever cracked up to John Witherspoon, bro. My first laugh.
Really?
That's how prolific this cat is. I remember the first time I laughed at something of his. It was Robert Townsend special, and he had this spoof of Star Trek on, and John Witherspoon was supposed to be kind of like Spock. The captain asked him to break down what soul food was, and he was like, "Oh, he broke all these dishes down: greens and hog maw and black eyed peas, and then you wash it down with a glass of beautiful sweet Kool-Aid." We've been calling it beautiful sweet ever since.
Oh man,
Beautiful sweet guy. That's 2 cups of sugar in your Kool-Aid when it's beautiful sweet.
man.
Yeah, yeah. Legend, legend. Miss Erica Phil says, I owe everyone an apology. I watched and replay and was a rude guest. Shake my head. I talked my tail off. I was just so worried about making sure y'all click the link to leave Congress a comment. I was raised better. Appreciate you coming on though the other day.
Yeah,
That we needed that information, but yeah, we'll have to catch you one time when the babies is not, playing drums on the pots and pans and stuff. So
man.
we'll have you another. You got some great information. We need to bring you back and talk about it some more too,
Yeah.
and really kind of push this whole idea. You definitely sold me on the fact that we need that kind of reform. So child care, evergreen issue here. I almost said mine is soul. First guy.
Mm.
Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning, letting us know that Facebook is working. Good morning
Hey.
to you. Appreciate you very much. Brooke is in the chat, says good morning. Mayor
Morning.
Sanchez says, what did Leah say about my mama? Right, yippee, yippee, yo, yo. What'd she say about my mama?
What?
I like that. Amy H. gives us a good morning, fam. Good morning to you. Tamika Johnson says, saying each syllable really does bring you joy. Thanks, Leah. Ah, so, some more people than me saying it. I like
Okay.
Yes, all chat chimers do the
Collective effort.
yippee Yes. Marianne Williams says, "Happy Friday, peeps." Once again, want to thank you for all the stuff that you put in the Friends of First Sky Omaha. You make
Yes,
it easy
yes.
for us to go and check and see what's going on.
Actually, to that point, I was looking at the numbers, going through the statistics on our Facebook pages and social media pages, and stumbled across a list of the most active, friends of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Marianne Williams, you up there, Miss Erica Felt, you up there. I think also Miss Wanda Lewis as well,
Mhm.
commenting and liking and stuff. So we appreciate the engagement, y'all. We appreciate it. Keep it going. Keep posting. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. It makes a big difference for that. I mean, that's what it's all about, really. That's the power of this show is the chat chimers, the what do you call the co-hosts, like Buddy
Yeah,
says.
yeah.
That's really what you guys are doing. Appreciate you very much. Also, let's see. Miss Erica Fell says, "Yes, I was distracted. Thank you for the voice, though." Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, man. You're kind of doing what we envision. We're building this conversation, and you guys are the chat chimers, the co-hosts, people that we're discussing all these things with. You guys, end up being experts in some of the fields that we're talking about. Come on the show and engage that way too. And you've helped with the research, you've helped with the topic, the subject. Just think about it. If we were a newspaper, this was First Guy Omaha newspaper, then that would be an article. That would be a headline
Yeah.
of ours that and you would be helping with the deep dive and the fact checking and all the things that people do to write that article. So that's the kind of stuff we're looking to venture into here pretty soon as well. But we knew first and foremost we got to have some reporters,
Man.
at least some citizen journalists. So that's what we're doing right now. We're coming up on week 4 of our Content Creators Camp 2023. We're back at the Culture House this week, and it's going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning. So we're back at our regular time.
In the morning.
In the DS.
Hey.
Culture House is going down 3014 North 24th Street. Kind of a low turnout last week, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing everybody that signed up come through and do us a favor and tell a friend, bring a friend, tell a friend, do all that stuff. We definitely want to have a full house at the Content Creators Camp over at the Culture House. Shout out to Marcy Yates for letting us use the Culture House
Man.
for this event. He's kind of come on as a partner here with what we're trying to do with the Content Creators Camp. So Content Creators Camp 2023, week 4. That's this Saturday, August 26th, 10 o'clock. I will be your instructor this week.
Man.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about citizen journalism. We're going to be talking about more tech related things, media presence, all those types of things that we know about a little bit here at First Sky. So love to see you there. And we'll be talking about this throughout the show because it's going to be in a very extensive haps throughout the show today because it's Friday. Yippee-yi-yay.
Yeah, man. Let us know what's going on this weekend in your world. As always, be prepared to drop some haps in the chat.
Yes.
Definitely let us know what's going on. Also, feel free to let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. As always, big shout out to everybody in the chat. We do have a few things to talk about. Some things coming up next week too. We're getting some emails and some people laying some things on us. lot of things going on. So looking forward to that. But yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward, excited about this creators camp. Big shout out to everybody who has pulled up. And some people have signed up and still haven't, come through and things. But we understand. Just come through. You don't have to come to all the classes, but definitely come through and support. We have what about like
This, I mean,
18
I'm
more
sitting
classes?
down
We got a few more classes left. We have a few
Yeah.
more classes left.
Oh, classes left. No, we're in. This is we got about. I think there's about 9 classes left. So we had 12 weeks. We're on week 4.
Mm.
What's the math there? I can't.
It's 2 classes per week.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're looking at the 2 class. I'm looking at the weeks. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got you. Yeah, this is it's going to be good. She said, Professor Paul. We're going to be talking about who just asked that question. Amy H. said, "What's the
Yep.
topic for this Saturday?" We'll be talking about storytelling in media.
Mhm.
We're talking about becoming a presence in the neighborhoods and a trusted source. People, being able to navigate and be in spaces that you don't think you can be in order to report, and ways to use that, ways to make content with the equipment and stuff that you have. I'll go into a little bit of tech, a little bit of how to use your phone camera better. Little bits of stuff that'll help you just be a little bit more conscious of what it is that you're recording. And just, our whole goal is to think in the mind of a journalist,
Mhm.
because if we're going to go ahead and pay attention to something and we're going to spread it, we might as well do it with these tenets that'll help us become people in the area that is a trusted source, which is what we all are trying to be as citizen journalists.
Yeah.
So should be fun. Miss Easter, I see you. Good morning. I hope that you show up again too. Appreciate you coming last week.
Yes.
Should be
Yes.
fun.
Yeah, everybody is an expert in something. Like Paul mentioned, that's one thing that I enjoy as a journalist. Like, journalists aren't necessarily the experts; they just know how to find people who are, and everybody's an expert in something. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting to see people realize and find that voice. That's really the whole thing, is bringing a voice to the perceived voiceless, because everybody has a voice. So
There you
again,
go.
let your voice be heard. Let your mind be free. Big shout out to everybody tuning in. Marlon Harrison, I see you coming through. Sister Kimera, Lucia, shout out.
Yeah, I was gonna say Buenos Dias. She said in the Diaz. Lucia.
Hey,
Appreciate that. Miss Erica Fell says 2 classes a week. Are there 2 each Saturday? Yeah, 2 each Saturday. That's why we do 2 hours.
yep.
So it's 10 to 12, and each there's 2 classes per week. So come on through. Good morning, Kimra. Marlon Hill says, please have Kimra Snipes on next week. She was at the Juvenile Justice Reform meeting, and I want to hear her thoughts. Sounds good to me, Kimra. If you into it, then come on through and bring your notepad.
Okay.
We'll hook it up. We'll talk after the show and get you scheduled in. Speaking of the people that are coming in, we do have a special guest coming in today. Ali Peeler is going to come in and talk about OEAA voting. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully she will be able to make it. They had some internet issues, man. The internet issues around town is
Man,
it's something else. Now the heat's messing with the internet.
really?
Always something.
It's that hot?
It is always something. Also, we have, of course, the senators will be on Monday, but we're also going to have Brother Kasim on and talk about what's going on in the BAA as well. So there's some good guests coming up. And then, of course, today will be extensive hap since it's Friday. And let's check it out. Marianne Williams says, in case you haven't seen it yet, I just shared Senator McKinney's post about information session Tuesday next week for those who applied for recovery under LB 1024-531. Yes,
Yep.
big announcement from the DED that we'll talk about for sure. That's coming up. And then, we'll definitely be talking to the senators about what this means for 1024 coming up as well. So lots to talk about coming up. And we're very happy that you guys are here. And I appreciate you taking your Friday morning with us, all the Chad Chimers. I was explaining the show to some people last week or actually Monday, and it was really kind of they were blown away that we get up in the morning and have these discussions with so many people in our community, so many of you, and then there's also the ghost listeners that are peeping in and checking out what's going on as well, and listening to see what's happening, gathering some information and everything that the ghost listeners do. So I think it's very significant that we're able to get together like this and discuss this, because nobody is really doing this kind of work. This is a 2-hour a day, 3-day a week roundtable with the community, basically. Who's doing that? You know what I mean? So thank you. We could not do this without you guys. We really appreciate you guys very much. And I decided, let's go ahead and get into the show, because
Let's start the show.
Let's start the show. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's happening? What's happening? Fresh edition of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B. the Dove, Buddy to God, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. Appreciate everybody who's joined us this morning. And again, we got a lot to talk about today. Of course, we got a special guest coming in. Allie Peeler is going to come in and talk about the OEAA Awards, Omaha Arts and Entertainment Awards. It'll be time. It's time to vote right now. As a matter of fact, we only got a few more days to get in your favorite artists. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. And of course, this being Friday, extensive haps. So get your haps together and let's talk about that all throughout the show, but especially at the end of the show. Really appreciate everybody who puts in haps into Friends of First Sky Omaha too, so we can know what's going on around town. But in the meantime, before we jump back into the chat right here, buddy, let's talk. Let's give them a rundown of some of the things we're going to talk about today, if you don't mind.
Yeah, definitely continuing our conversation on education, looking at a few OPS things. OPS is finally inviting the public out to give input on the superintendent search, which has been pretty controversial. Again, there's been some infighting, if you will, with the school board. But now, again, finally, the public are having their crack at it. There will be actually a couple opportunities for the public to speak up. So we'll tell you about that coming up. And then OPS is also seeking help to address a quote unquote emergency in special education transportation. Again, we already talked about several elementary schools that are being closed due to a lack in special education teachers. But now there's transportation issues. So now the parents have to take the kids all the way to a different school. It's just a crazy situation. And we'll definitely get more into it as far as kind of the slippery slope that is OPS's shortages. Also, looking at Creighton, they have a Hawaiian student club there is holding a donation drive, still looking at ways to impact and help those out in Hawaii dealing with the wildfires, dealing with the tragedy that really struck out there. Again, Maui wildfire victims. Is the name of the donation drive. And there's some other news that we haven't really talked about on the show that I do want to get into as far as how much money these families are getting. I'm hearing $700. Yeah. Yeah. We got a couple more things to
mad
talk
at Biden
about
right now, for real.
Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up. But also, we do have some good news to talk about. Of course, people already in the chat dropping news about the DED. We'll definitely talk about that email that was sent out to those who applied. Also, shout out to Senator McKinney, who we will be having on Monday, but he's always informing the people about what's going on. There is still information on the North Omaha Turnback Tax Committee, which is a different meeting that's going on next week as well. So again, a lot of things happening as far as opportunities, different opportunities to make money in the community. And then also, we do want to give a shout out to my man Eric Ejiki, who made a big announcement with a little known organization in the community. I don't really hear too much talk about this new well, not necessarily new, but this organization that he has a new position at. So big shout out to Ejiki again and Noah. We'll talk about that a little bit coming up. As always, if there's anything on your hearts, your minds that we're not talking about, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let the people know. In the meantime, in between time, Paul B, what's good?
Yeah.
Chat going off.
Yeah. Just talking about looking to see what's going on. It's Rick Fulton show again. So just looking at seeing what's going on there with his comments and him and Kim are going back and forth. Just talking about a little information about what's really happening, what's coming up, and the things that are going on. This Omaha 360 topic for a few weeks, Kimmer Snipes is saying, has been the pre-adjudicated kids with no options for programming. So that's been something we've been talking about, prison reform and all stuff with the juvenile justice center and all this kind of stuff. And they build the buildings, but don't build the programs, which is unfortunate.
There you go.
Yeah, man. So that's what's up. She said the juvenile justice meeting. She said you said the juvenile justice. Oh, they're talking back and forth there on which meeting is which. But yeah, there's definitely lots going on. Can't wait to have you, Kimmer, if you agree to come on next week. We'll talk about the details after the show. But you've been to a couple meetings that we definitely want to talk about and get with you on. And I'm gonna try to hit that 360 meeting next Tuesday too. So we can have even more discussion on all those things going on there. So turn back. I'm sorry. I did want to make one statement about that turn back tax. Of course, we're talking about Senator McKinney, who's going to have this event coming up here about the turn back tax. Again, this is a public hearing on Monday, August the 28th, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. at MCC Fort Campus. And this is the North Omaha Turnback Tax Committee. There's going to be a lot of discussion here about what's going on. This is a totally different fund. That's
Yep.
what that's that's the thing. I have been getting text messages and emails from people in the community that still really are not understanding exactly what each fund is. But the turnback tax is not 1024. It's not the 531. It's not the ARPA funds. This is a totally different fund. The North Omaha Turnback Tax is a totally different grant. It has really nothing to do with the ARPA funds, the 531 that we've been talking about, that the DED just made the announcement about. So just to try to help clear up some misinformation there about that. Two totally different funds. They're both within reach of North Omaha, though.
Yep.
Yeah,
As Senator Wayne said.
Yep. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, and like we said, we'll have the senator on Monday to talk more about it as well. But let's go ahead and get into the announcement that the DED just made. At least talk about that. We don't have to get too extensive with it because the senators will come on and talk about it. But we've been kind of waiting around, like Rick Fulton was saying too. He applied for a thing that he was trying to do. He saw that we applied. A lot of people in our community applied, and we're going to be trying to talk to everyone who has applied and see what's going on. But this is very interesting that we've been sitting around kind of waiting on that next step, which is the DED making their announcement, and they just did. So let's go ahead and you want to get into that?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of really just kind of popped up on our radar as Rick Fulton kind of threw us under the bus, put us out there. But no, we've been very, very transparent. Yeah. We've been very transparent. Again, we've applied for this, and again, we can't talk about the process and not partake in it, and kind of report really on step by step. So this latest step is an email that just was shot out late yesterday from the DED, and it is an invite to a information session that will be held, as you see in the chat, at 2 p.m. on next Tuesday, August 29th, in the auditorium of the Omaha State Office building. That is 1313 Farnham Street in downtown Omaha. So again, this is open. Initially, they said for those who were recommended for funding, but there was a correction later sent saying that all organizations who applied. So again, anyone who applied to the initial round is invited to this information session, even if you were recommended for no money, or even if you didn't make. Because I know there are even more applications, because I've seen full applications. I've seen the full list, and there are a lot more applications put in than what you can even see on the Olsen report. So again, anybody who applied, you can come to this information session. So that's what we know as of right now.
Yeah. And that's all we know. We've been talking to the senators. They've been coming on every Monday. We've been asking them, have they heard anything? They hadn't been hearing anything either. It was all up to the DED to finally get their ducks in a row and make some statements. So they did. We'll see how this goes. Again, this is for this 1024 money. They changed that to the 531 bill in order to make sure that we got the money on time. This is the $400 million coming to North and South Omaha that we've been talking about this whole time. And a lot of people applied. We've been talking to people who have applied. We've been having the senators on, running down the process. And from what we understand about the process, people applied, went through this company called Olsen to do an evaluation. You got an evaluation or you didn't. And then the next step was, after those things happen, the DED has to spend the time to look at it. And hundreds of applications out there. So I'm surprised. I'm not surprised it took them so long to kind of get to the point where they were looking through it. But now they want a little public feedback from the people that applied. And what we understand is there's still a chance, if you didn't get an evaluation, there's still a chance that you might be able to still go through the DED if you have done some revamping to your application. And it's still a chance to get that, but it still has to go through another step after the DED approves whatever it is they approve. The governor then has to sign off on it, and then after that happens, that's when money will start getting distributed, and then we'll be talking about the ways that that's going to be tracked. So
I do want to add something to this though, because again, what is money? You know what I mean? What is this? What is this? What are we talking about? All we're talking about, money is nothing more than a physical manifestation of energy. Like we're getting a pumping of energy into the community. That's what currency is. That's
Buddy
what
going deep this morning.
I
Okay.
mean. Let's be honest, but I'm bringing it back down to the ground because for those who didn't apply for this, all the applications, some of these businesses will get money. Even if you didn't apply and you're interested in starting a business, look at what is coming. Maybe there is another business opportunity there for you. Maybe some of these businesses don't have services that they will need. Maybe some of these businesses are missing a mark that you can fill. Maybe there's a gap between, like, there's opportunity and energy coming to, and I don't want people to get negative and get mad, like, oh, I didn't get this. And like, stop. If you want to win, you can. This is an opportunity to win if you look at it as that. Opportunity is coming. Let's seize it together.
I agree, most definitely. And especially when it comes to the fact that we know that part of the process, we know from the inside, from speaking to the senators, that they're really looking at how much collaboration is going on here.
Right.
How
Right.
many people can get together and create bigger systems than just their one little siloed system, and be able to spread it out a little bit more and build some economic development in our neighborhoods, jobs, money, uh,
Man.
entities that can bring people in. I mean, these are all the things that we're really looking at. Some long term investment in the city. That's what that's about. So and it's it's interesting too because even the senators said they had to kind of, they were watching for that. They know how Omaha is, man. Everybody's trying to do
Mhm.
everybody pulls away and tries to do their own thing. Oh, I can do it better, and then you got five entities doing the kind of the same work. Nobody can really get together. Everybody's kind of pulling each other down and fighting over scraps.
Yep.
We've been in the middle of all this stuff. We've been in
Yep.
the middle of all this stuff. So
Yep.
so
But
what? Go ahead.
it's just gonna add. Like, I'm just thinking, like, there's one of the main things that Senator Wayne said is he did acknowledge that some of the businesses are not going to succeed, but that's going to leave a restaurant that now another business can come in. Also, buildings like some of these rundown buildings will get built up. That means that they will have grass that's going to need cut. That means that there's going to be janitorial services that these buildings need to get cleaned. Like, there's opportunity for everybody if you're willing to hustle. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. If we put it in like it needs to go,
Right.
and so that, like I said, we've been keeping track of the system. We're revamping our application as well. I mean, everybody has to kind of do that, even the people that got an evaluation, because if you got an evaluation and you didn't really get all the money, or you got an evaluation for lower than you asked for, then they ask the question, well, how are you going to make up the rest of it in order to do what you got to do? The one thing I keep on running through my mind about this, having dealt with Malcolm X Memorial Foundation, nonprofit organizations, grants, getting money from foundations and so on and so forth to run programs. Since it's such a nonprofit town here and a lot of organizations are running that way, there was a disconnect between, this is not a grant. This money coming from 1024 is supposed to be an investment in for-profit company. You can be a nonprofit company, but you have to have a plan. You have to be able to provide jobs. You have to have some economic development. And I even got caught up in the beginning, just so used to this nonprofit world, asking for it in a nonprofit way, thinking about those dollars as dollars that we might be able to get and just have and spend. This is not dollars that you're supposed to get and just have and spend. This in the way that you do a nonprofit. Nonprofit dollars, you get them, you're supposed to spend up the whole amount. This money is supposed to be for investing in infrastructure, investing in things that'll help you build the business, build out economic development, provide jobs, make more money later, not just to spend up some free money that we got. And that's been, I see that being part of the issue
Hmm.
with a lot of people that were really up in arms about not being able to get that money. If you didn't get that money, you probably didn't have a good business plan in order to present to anybody about it. You probably had a plan that said, I have a program and I need money for this program, and give me this money and I'm gonna spend it up on this program. That's not the same thing. So there's so much out there, so much. This is, we've tried to do our best by having the senators on a weekly basis to try to break down some of these things. And like I said, still a lot of misinformation going on. especially this whole turnback tax piece. Turnback tax is a different fund, has nothing to do with this 1024 money. That is not the way to get the 1024 money, is through the turnback tax. The turnback tax is a whole nother set of money that's available to us in our neighborhoods to be able to use for that as well. So I'm just making a comment on it because I keep getting text messages and emails about this is the way to go. I agree that we ought to be applying for the turnback tax, but that's also, this is not what the DED just announced. That's not the thing that the DED is talking about right now. That's a totally different fund.
Mm-hmm.
So again, if there's any questions, people that have, the senator said from day one, all you got to do is give them a call, ask what you need to ask, find out what's going on here. There is money available. It is for North and South Omaha. It is for us.
Yeah.
It's not a situation where we should be feeling like, oh, they ain't gonna give us this money. This money is for us.
Like they have to spend it for a certain what is it? Is it by zip code?
Yeah. It's specifically for a certain amount of certain zip codes.
Yeah,
like
census tracts
areas, right?
Yeah.
Let's jump into the chat a little bit. Miss Cheryl Weston is in the chat. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming on, listening. She says you are so right. Yeah, we do that. Let's see. We I was trying to see if she had what we were talking about that she said we were right about. Probably, I think this was around the time we were talking about just the process of going after this and us not fighting about it.
Yep.
And us not feeling a certain way about it.
Yep.
And all of that. All businesses are not able to stay afloat, and if you can imagine, it takes a lot to assess which businesses are going to make some change, make a difference, make some progress, make some economic development happen in the area,
Mm-hmm.
succeed, be able to grow, hire people, all the things that we're trying to do here. That's probably takes a lot to assess, because they probably got a lot of applications from people that haven't even started yet. From my understanding, there's a lot of people that haven't even started their business and their program yet, and they're trying to get money to start. And there's going to be a bunch of those people that get it too, but that's hard. That's almost like a gamble. You're gambling. That's like you going into your friend calls up and says, "Hey, I'm starting a restaurant. I've never started one before, but why don't you invest in it?" You might be a little bit skeptical about that, because the point is that you want to invest in a thing that's going to work. So a lot of people have been complaining about that too. Oh, it's the usual suspects getting the money. No, it's the suspects that have been running business all this time. That's been there, that are trying to get to the next level because they've been doing the work.
Yeah. And they also just know the process. That's another thing. A lot of people don't even know where to start, and by the time they figure out where to start, it's too late. The race has already started. It's too late.
Yeah. Malik Rogers in the chat. Good morning. He says all applicants should be required to take business courses or show proof of running a successful business as a part of the application process. It's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That would be, we do have a lot of advisories. Like, for instance, we go to Julian Young Financial Advisors. That's our people there. They help us to come up with a good plan for what it is we're trying to do business wise. Yeah, we definitely suggest that people take advantage of those kinds of entities out there. And you're right, Mr. Rogers. That's the point. The point is, you really, people are applying that haven't gone through any programs or anything like that. This is what the DED and everybody has to assess. So it's a lot, and this is the reason why they encourage collaboration. Because if you are a young business, then you can collaborate with a business that's established, that can help you get that business plan together, and be a entity together. Then you have more of a chance to receive those funds. Ms. Snipes in the chat says, if we had a strong alliance structure and organized neighborhoods, we wouldn't have all this confusion. That would help. The information would definitely help.
That would help.
Yeah. Anything else you're seeing, buddy?
Yeah, I do want to get to T. Ren's question here in a second, but I do want to also comment to Malik Rogers. There's also things coming out of this. So not only Julian, but also shout out to Myron Pierce, who does business consulting as well. Yeah, shout out to Myron Pierce. Used to be with Bridge Church, but also Senator McKinney has the hub, the iHub that's coming out of this as well, and that's what I'm mentioning. Like, again, also I saw application for the whole plan was to get I think $1 million and give 10 businesses $100,000, and that was the application. Like that was what they're asking for the DED. So there will be other opportunities as a result of this, not just what I mentioned as far as looking at business opportunities, but some of these programs are specifically being made through this DED process for business creation. You know what I mean? So even if there are people who don't have the business acumen, like you're saying, Malik, maybe even not taking courses through this, but there will be other opportunities. Again, let's look at the full picture. Is my point.
But some of these, so some of the ones that you're talking about though are going to be entities that exist. That means you have to work with people like the Empowerment Network, who's going to be doing
Mm-hmm.
programs. The Empowerment Network is one of the programs doing that, asking for a certain amount of money so that they can help fund other smaller organizations. Yeah, if you don't get together and start working with people, then
You'll miss out.
after the DED after the DED makes their recommendations and the governor signs off on it and people start getting money, the only chance you have to work with people after that is if they had already been set up ready to work with you with the money that they got. That's the people that you got to work with after that. Now it won't be about the senators or the DED or the governor after that. It'll be about who has the money now. So this is the reason why we always are trying to reconcile things and get together and collab and figure out who's doing what and so on and so forth, because there's still ways that the money will be dispersed even after that. But then you'll have to start working with these organizations that we're always have questions for. So I don't mind that we have questions. We need to bring people on to be able to answer some of these questions because there's still collaboration to be had after that. Let's see. Let's see.
T Ren.
Yeah, T Ren. Yeah, you said you were saying you wanted to address that.
Yeah, T Ren has a pretty good question in the chat. Says the way it has been framed has been in a nonprofit driven way. Kind of
Mm,
responding to what you were saying. Where are the rules at on paper? Where can those be found? Let's start there. So
good point.
just kind of wanted to walk people through it. I mean that is a great point. Like I said, you can see all of this stuff from what the requirements are to who applied, everything. So again, this is the Nebraska Department of Economic Development's website, just opportunity.nebraska.gov. As you see, you just go to programs, economic recovery at the bottom. Let's click on that program that you're looking for, LB 1024. And as you see, there's a lot of programs out there. Not just where's the one that we're looking for? Economic Recovery Act. That's just one. There are a lot of programs out there for for-profit and nonprofits.
That's what the senators were trying to say, is that there's so much more money out there besides these ARPA funds.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, click on that and see if there's any.
Economic Recovery Act. And here you are. Stipulations for each one. Let's see, LB 1024, Economic Recovery Act. And here's a summary.
DED update at the bottom there, looks like.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's some information there, but to T Ren's point, not a whole lot. Where's the walkthrough? Where's the instructions on some of this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Olson, I believe Olson was supposed to do some of that. I think did a little bit of it, but not very, we even us, man, like my application was all wrong, and we trying to pay attention to this stuff. So to Ren's point, unfortunately, I mean, I'll put it to you like this though. I will say this part. There has been no other situation out of the legislature that has been more explained than this situation, because the senators have been willing to do that and put out information and take all days off and have town halls and do a bunch of stuff in order to explain it and come on here once a week to explain it. So that just shows you how extensive some of this stuff is. It's tough. It's very tough. And so we're gonna come back to this. I see that we have our special guest waiting in the wings, so we're gonna bring her on in just a minute here. But we'll come back to this subject here. More to talk about when it comes to this decision. And remember, we're gonna have an extensive conversation with the senators come Monday.
Yep.
On all these things as well. So get your questions together and ready. And thank you for everybody who is who's engaging now with that. One last one before we go to Ms. Peeler. Cheryl Weston is saying, if you are in business, you should be looking at all opportunities to fund your business. there are other opportunities that Nebraska Economic Department has available. Check them out. We
Yeah,
just
as you
showed you
see,
some of those other funds, right?
there's a
So
broadband bill out there.
there's a lot there. So we'll definitely be talking about it. But in the meantime, between time, we're going to bring on Miss Allie Peeler, one of my favorite people in Omaha, Nebraska.
Hey guys,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm tired, but I'm good. I'm happy to
Well,
be
well, thank you for waking up at the crack of dawn with
here.
us. Thank you.
I'm happy
Let's
to be
hold,
here. The boys are getting ready for school, so you might hear. I told them to try to be as quiet as they can,
hold
but
it, tiptoe through the tulips, huh? You got to
this
do it.
microphone's picking everything up though, so who knows? Who knows what they'll catch?
Right on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you. If you don't know who this person is, like I said, Allie Peeler is one of my
Yes,
favorite people
yes.
in Omaha, Nebraska, in the world, and one of the best singers I ever heard in my life too. If you ever heard her perform,
Man,
she got one of them butter voices,
Thank you.
butter.
melt you to the ground. Yes, yes, yes. So super talented, and I really appreciate you getting up this early this morning.
Absolutely.
Our partners are the Omaha Arts and Entertainment Awards, OEAAs is what we call
Mm-hmm.
them. There's some voting that is coming up here that's happening now. Voting
Yep.
is happening now, and as a matter of fact, there's a time frame here. We only got a few more days to vote, right? Like about 6 more days.
Yeah, August 31st is the cutoff deadline for the public votes and nominations. And every year we get questions. I mean, I was confused before I joined the board. The process of
Yeah,
how the public gets to nominate or vote, or when do they? And this is the opportunity. This is when the public gets to, click on vote for in every category, whether it's music, performance arts, or arts, in every category. And we've added more categories this year, to feature some of our youth talent in arts and
Nice.
performance, and then in music, which is really exciting.
that's cool.
Yeah, and this weekend we're at the Nebraska State Fair, actually tomorrow, with our
Hmm,
first ever OEAA showcase, youth showcase, where we're kind of highlighting a lot of these really wonderful organizations that work with young people, like Omaha Girls Rock. They'll be playing. I'm going to be kicking off the whole thing in Grand Island. If anyone happens to be out there, please come see us. 1 p.m. I'll start singing a little, and then at
nice.
2:30 we've got Omaha Girls Rock. We've got the Omaha Conservatory of Music and Blues Ed as well. And they're
Wow.
just doing so much killer stuff. These young people are really just putting in the work, and it's really cool, to kind of expand the categories this year to include those young people who are really like working hard, kicking butt. So
Yeah, I
it's
love it.
exciting.
So before we start begging people to start voting right now, tell us, just give us a little overall what the OEAAs is, and then we'll talk a little bit about why it's important, and then the process because that's what everybody is confused about too.
Hmm.
A lot of people have gone on and were like, well, where's the Angeline Timeless? Where are they at? You have to nominate them. So
Exactly.
so this is coming out of our brains, who it is that we have been seeing
Exactly.
around town. Right, right. So let's talk a little bit, just to give them a little brief overview, if you would.
For sure, for sure. So this year it's the 18th annual. This means 18 years Omaha has been recognizing those that have gone kind of above and beyond um, in their fields, and we highlight on three different areas. So we have artists, so visual artists. We have performance artists, so all of the different playhouses in town and all the shows that are going on, musicals, original pieces, and then we have our music portion. And it's a wonderful night where we all get together and celebrate everyone. There's a whole award show this year. It's going to be at the Holland Performing Arts, and we're really excited about that. The very first ever OEAA award show was at the Holland, so it's nice to kind of come back home. It's a beautiful space, and the partnership with OPA is really important. So basically, right now, up and through August 31st, people can go online and just click the vote button. It's really easy. And then you just type in whomever you want for each category. There's Artist of the Year, there's Album of the Year. The only stipulations we have is that, for the performance year, which would be then September 1st through of 2023 to August 31st of 2023. Did I say that wrong? What year is it? 2022, 23. What year is it? Oh my goodness. And that the people
23.
live within 100 miles of the Omaha metro area, but they have to have performed, or had their art show or performance within Omaha City, within that time frame. So for album of the year, you had to have released your album between September 1st, 2022,
Two.
to up until August 31st. So those would be the eligibilities. Other than that, basically what we do once the voting is done, all of the things that all the people that people have nominated goes and is tallied towards. We have these committees that then kind of clean them up, because inevitably people are putting people in the wrong category.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure, and then we go through, and then we'll have our nominee reveal, which will be at the Benson Theater, which we love our partnership with Benson Theater. It's so beautiful.
Yep. Yep.
And that'll be coming up in October, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then once that is out, we have a voting academy, which is a lot of just industry, important people in the community that are part of they'll get the ballot sent, and then through the nominees, then they will vote. And then for the award show, that's when we'll announce the winners.
Okay.
That's kind of the process.
Sounds good. So, just so I understand myself too, you hit this link that we just put in the chat, and you go there and look at the categories that you want to vote in,
Yep.
and then you hit a category. Say you say best R&B album or something like that, or best R&B group, and then you go to that category and you say, I want Angeline Timeless in that.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna keep on saying Angeline Timeless because
Right.
so you know who
There
I'm
you
voting
go.
for.
Right,
There
right.
you
I
go.
do that. Actually, last night I was like, I better get my votes in. So I did that, just also because it has changed. We had a partnership with John Heaston, the reader, and so this is the first year where we've taken control of the voting process, and so it's going to be a little messy, and we'll get it cleaned up for next year. But it's really exciting. Not a lot of cities do this. In fact,
Mhm.
I don't know too many that take the time to really acknowledge the local artistic scene. And many of us, when we joined the board, it was try to make some good changes and more transparency, because there's always been questions. So what is the process? And, feelings get kind of hurt, or, feeling like maybe it's a popularity contest or this and that. But the more people we get involved, and we're always looking to expand the board, with people in their skill sets. We're trying to get a more educated electorate as well, which is just important, getting people, to know about these amazing albums, tours that are happening. I mean, the Omaha music scene and creative community and brilliant, like, original plays and works that are happening in our community, some people maybe don't know. And so it's a fun opportunity to kind of spread the word about how we can continue to highlight these people who are doing awesome stuff. And
Yeah. I just want to mention something about this because this is something I had to come to on my own too. Like before, I used to think that award shows are pretty frivolous. I'm from California, and they're just dime a dozen everywhere all the time, including Grammys. I mean, including the big ones. And so it wasn't until I got out here and got involved with OEAAs where I started to understand how important an award show is to a creative community. We can't build a creative community if we're not acknowledging each other's creations. And so the OEAAs are that important. OEAAs are like the Grammys, the Tonys, and the Oscars all in one show,
Pretty
and
much.
it encompasses all of Omaha. And it's us who nominate everybody who our family members and our teammates and our band members and the people that are doing stuff around us that we appreciate. We nominate those people, and then awards go out to them. But it's so interesting to think of it that way. You got creative communities here, especially in our community. Lots of artists, musicians. I mean, Bofill Berry just did a play at the Omaha at the Benson Theater. Playwrights. We got everybody in our community that are doing this work, and not a lot of recognition all the time because we're so siloed. Sometimes there's a black music scene and there's a white music scene and there's all these different siloed scenes. So this is the opportunity to put all these different artists on the same level in order to be able to be seen like everybody else is being seen. And it's just so important. It's so important. All an awards show is to acknowledge the work that you see people creatively doing in our city.
Exactly. And putting the respect where it is due, because I mean, I'm watching so many creative people leave our state because of so many different reasons, not feeling appreciated or not being heard, and other cities are more welcoming. And so it's like incredibly important that we do this, because if not, we're going to keep experiencing a creative brain drain.
Right.
And like I can't let that happen. I'm raising kids here. It's just so important to have these outlets. It's so important to encourage creative expression and to highlight these amazing things that are happening. I mean, we have musicians in our community that have, millions of monthly listeners and streaming, and we have amazing tours, and so it's a cool opportunity. I mean, a few years ago, it was like, in one year, King ISO was, just doing all this crazy stuff. And we had, I just remember putting together the scripts for everything, and looking at Andrea Von Campen, like the Prince, now King, like bought her record, and, and it was this big thing on Record Store Day. And we're like, Andrea, that's awesome. And just so many really cool things that are happening. And if we don't acknowledge them, then it's our own fault too, when we're losing people to places that are willing to, acknowledge and love on them. So
I'm glad you brought up King ISO. He did a lot. He did a whole lot that year, and there was and to me, he needed way more acknowledgement than he got.
Right.
And I'm just.
I'm sorry to cut you. I remember like laughing through the meeting. That's when I say the importance of like educated electorate, because I was like, how can the members of the Academy not know what King ISO was doing? And that got rectified last year. He did win Artist of the Year. I was like, okay, because it was almost embarrassing for us. And that's also why we do need more, we're looking for interns and people who we're working on getting more people involved on the board. So if anyone who's listening, if you would love to get involved, reach out to either Paul or myself, and because it is important to continue to expand our outreach and who's being involved in the conversation. Because if you're looking around the room and everyone looks the same, or you're hearing the same things, like you need to grow and change. And that's kind of what the board's done. And so I'm excited for that. We've made some really positive moves in the last so many years, like paying our performers, the idea of like, if we're going to appreciate our community, we're going to financially appreciate our community as well.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So those were big changes that we were like, we got to put our actions where our mouth is too.
So vote before the 31st.
31st coming up.
Yep, coming up. And then for next year, follow our lead and come on, join. Get in on the process so we can have more voices on that process. Buddy was on the board for a while. When you left town, I kind of took your place on the board over there.
Pretty much.
And again, that's so that we can sit in this room and say Angeline Timeless.
Yes.
Black Swan theory.
Black Swan, exactly. And I believe Bo's, since the performance was in the time period for original screenplay, the Six Guns Running, I think it was Buffalo Women, right? Yeah. So I believe that is eligible to be nominated for original screenplay, original script.
Yeah. And also, I would like to add, we kind of talked about, what's going on at the Omaha Community Playhouse, and certain playwrights not getting the recognition that they felt they deserved. So again, this is an opportunity to rectify that as well. Again, this is the opportunity to acknowledge your artists and your creatives in the community. So let's seize it, as we see it.
Want to jump into the chat real quick, Malik Rogers. First of all, Brother Rogers, check out King ISO if you're looking up other groups. He says lack of promotion and spotlight for media is part of the problem. Just looked up a couple of the groups he mentioned, and their social media footprint is minimal. OEAs is a way to up their footprint. A lot of times you're a artist, you don't really concentrate too much on your marketing side. I mean, I as an artist hate the marketing side. If I'm trying to play some music, I ain't trying to go out here and make a sale on top of it. So it's tough. So that's the reason. Another reason why I cherish the OEAs, because they're for artists especially that have a social media footprint that's minimal, like you're saying. OEAs can kind of boost that up, man. It's happened. I've seen it happen a lot. So shout out to everybody who is a part of this process and shining some light on some of these very, very great artists. Some of the best talent I've ever been around in my life has been in Nebraska. It's been in Omaha.
Right. Like
so got to do it.
Talk about beautiful musicians. Like some of my favorite vocalists, some of my favorite musicians I've ever met and worked with in this country are in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah. Man. Well, like I said, you're one of my favorite voices.
Not really working on marketing their stuff.
Yeah, nobody want to market. Nobody wants to sell. Nobody want to do that. Salespeople want to do that. It's good to connect with a manager or somebody who's
make those connections more. We need to make those connections more.
Industry.
Well, like I said, you're one of the people that I consider when I say that most talented people that I've ever been around has been in Omaha. You're one of them. You're one of my favorite voices ever.
Oh,
So
that means
yeah,
a lot.
you
I
get a
love
chance if you get a chance to see her perform, get ready to be melted. Do
So
it.
tomorrow, I will be kicking off the Omaha Entertainment and Arts Awards Showcase, the Youth Showcase at Nebraska State Fair in Grand Island at 1 p.m. And we'll
Ooh,
be
Okay.
in literally until like 9 o'clock. Bad Self Portraits will be there too. They're among the Omaha Girls Rock mentors. So they'll be playing with Until and Nothing Rhymes with Orange. And Us Versus Them are going to be playing with Blues Ed. And the Conservatory Music, they have their Frontier Strings are going to be playing. So it's going to be awesome.
Okay.
Young people
Okay.
kicking it. So if you happen to find yourself in Grand Island, you can hear me at 1 p.m. tomorrow.
yeah, we
There
ain't
you
going
go.
to
Here I go. I know, right? Just no off chance.
represent though, baby. Represent.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Appreciate you coming on. Any last words before you go?
I love you guys, and thank you so much for having me on. And now that the boys are in school, I'll be getting up earlier, so I'll be starting my mornings with you guys.
Come on back in,
Hey,
chat
come
chimer.
through. Come through.
All right, cool. I'll see y'all later.
All right, you have a good
Bye.
one.
Have a good one.
Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, Allie Peeler, OEAA Awards. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Tap in, y'all. Check them out. The link is in the chat. Go ahead and vote now. I know some of you have children that are artists, friends, family that are artists, know some artists. Definitely, go represent, man. OEAA dash or OEA dash awards, excuse me. OEA dash awards.org. Again, the link is in the chat. There you go.
Got to get it, make it happen.
Yeah,
We're
man.
going to take a quick break and come right back and jump back into some stories. As you can see, we're still talking about what's going on with these funds and these groups.
Man.
It's a hot topic today, so we'll jump back in just a second. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the DES.
Paul B. the Dove, Buddy the God, chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. Yeah, First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the DES.
Paul B, Buddy the God. Shout out to Pops for that track. Appreciate you, Pops. Still making hits.
The Pops made that?
That's Pops. That's a Pops beat right there. Yeah.
Man.
I see you bobbing your head over there, buddy.
Yeah.
You might have a hot 16 for you, Pops. You never know.
Man. I mean, it just felt good. Kind of remind me of like some Bobby McFerrin a little bit.
Yes. Bro, Bobby McFerrin has turned out to be one of my favorite artists of all time, bro.
Man.
And if you had asked me that in the 80s when he was doing Don't Worry, Be Happy, I would have never said no mess like that.
Man, the Littles love that song.
But watching him progress into what he is now, which is a master of ceremonies, bro. You got to see him control the crowd. Rappers need to learn from Bobby McFerrin. That brother is prolific.
Man, I'm mad we missed him he was at Blue Note this year. Him and his children get down. He got two sons that sing. His daughter, yeah.
His daughter is a serious artist too, man. It's really interesting how that stuff changes because I thought that was like I would have never. I mean, Don't Worry, Be Happy was so corny and cheesy to me back in the day that I was just like,
really?
Yeah, dude, you kidding? I was in my cool stage by then, bro. It was not he wasn't cool listening to Don't Worry, Be Happy. Come on, man. NWA was out. What you talking about?
Being happy ain't cool,
bro. I seen some footage of him in. He's in houses now that are reserved for the masters, and this brother is doing some voice work, body work, music work. You learn something about music theory by the time you get done at a show of his, and the crowd control is ridiculous. He got everybody singing and feeling like artists. You got to see some footage. I'll find some footage for you, but
please,
prolific artist, bro, prolific.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the vibes, man. He puts out good music, and heard a couple other albums beyond, Don't Worry, Be Happy. Like it's yeah. Bobby McFerrin. But that's what pops that jam. That's what that sounded like.
Brooke said,
Okay.
my sister said, because you were a teen. Yeah, she was she was. I was 16, 17. She was 6 or 7. Talking about, she was probably loving it, and I was
like I said, my littles they loved it.
Yeah. I was a teenager by that time, listening to Ice Cube.
A lot of angst.
She said that was my jam as a kid. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I was not about it. I was like, did Eazy-E sing it? Then no. 8:01 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're now in the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning. Appreciate you guys holding fast with us this whole show. If you miss any parts of this show, you can always go back and check it out in its entirety. Facebook, YouTube, tell a friend, and check out the chats when you go back and check the show out too. So appreciate everybody who's here. And definitely want to jump back into some of the things that's being talked about around. I appreciate you guys letting us go left right there with the OEAs. We wanted to make sure that we brought somebody on since we have limited time to vote. We're going to keep on pushing. Vote.
Man.
Hit that link. Go to the website. Go to the categories that you want to vote in. Put your people in. Put your people in there. Force these judges to look up your people. If they don't know about it, they'll have to because their name is there.
Yep.
And then we can make some decisions. And then also, hit me up if you want to be a part of what's going on here too, so we can have more representation inside that. Even their board says that that's what they want. That's what they need. Omaha can be very siloed, and so we definitely need to have representation across the board in order to make sure that it gets recognized.
They're looking for it. Also, what Sean McCarthy says, even if you're not voting, and you don't know who to vote, this is a good opportunity to maybe find some ways to look into things. Sean McCarthy says, looking at the categories for the OEA, there's so many areas I need to check out that I should be checking out. See 3D artists. Again, there might be some areas, some people, some folk that you might not even be aware of. But this is a good opportunity to look them up. Look up some things.
And we've been talking the last year or two about adding podcasting category in there. So,
yes.
We don't, let's say at First Guy, we don't want to dominate a category right away, but I'm just saying, if it gets in there, then, people might be in trouble. No, I'm just kidding. But it might be something to look into now because that is an art form.
Mm-hmm.
It's turning into be a serious art form that is thriving in our community.
Yes.
Podcast studios popping up everywhere, libraries, BAA's got one coming. Culture House has them. Webrized, Untamed, everywhere. They're popping up everywhere because people are understanding the power of being able to tell your own stories and develop your own stuff. So, and we're always helping to promote a lot of them too, especially ones that come out of Webrized.
Man,
like our partner with Stuart Chittenden Lives is recorded there, and there's a podcast everywhere. Also, Whitney Richardson, who does her podcast Political Evolution. So yeah, we have a lot of content, people that are creating content all around us that very important stuff that we need to be paying attention to. And so, yeah, it's turning into a bit of a category that takes a lot of creation, takes a lot of production, and kind of encapsulates a bunch of stuff, storytelling, audio, visual work, all the things that people are winning awards for OEAs. I can make an argument for podcasts being a category. So I'm going to try that while I'm involved, and we'll see what's up.
Yeah. Sean McCarthy also saying for news. He says Great Plains has an awards. I think they may have a podcast category. If they don't, they should. Great Plains definitely has awards. I actually won an award through The Reader, writing for The Reader, along with Carla and Chris and the whole team, Bridget, the whole team over there, Princess Leia. We all won a Great Plains award through The Reader. So definitely shout out to all the Reader fam. Actually, speaking of that, we haven't really talked, but the last issue is going out next month. So yes. Definitely, if you can find the last, man, that might be a collector's item. You never know.
Oh, it will be for real.
Man, for sure. Find the last issue of The Reader that is going out next month in a matter of weeks. Again, the September issue is the last issue of The Reader as we know it right now. So yeah, definitely. Just remember, man. Shout out to the whole fam.
Yep. Brother Rogers saying start a list on page with links to their podcast. Yeah, when we drop our new website here, we're gonna have we're gonna definitely be acknowledging some of the ones that we support, some of our partners, and maybe we can add that if Amy H. Dot is listening, maybe we can add that to our Black business list. Some of the podcasts, situation. I mean, podcasts more like a broadcast. That list is more about business and resources and things like that. But I don't know. Maybe something we can add on. Let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But good idea. Good idea. So yes, moving on though, we definitely want to have an extensive haps today, being Friday. Lots of stuff going on. So I'm trying to make it so that the last half hour, 20 minutes of the show is the haps. Get your haps together. Please put those in the chat, and we'll make sure that we big those up and talk about what's going on. But so many things happening. One of the things that's happening that I need to keep on talking about right now is this thing that we're doing, the Content Creators Camp.
Yes,
2023. We're in week 4. I'll be your instructor this week. Week 4 is happening Saturday, August 26th, 10 o'clock, 10 to 12, Culture House. We're back at the Culture House. Shout out to Marcy Yates for becoming a partner on this Content Creators Camp. We're trying to build citizen journalists. We're trying to help. You're already doing content creation. We're trying to show you some of the things that will help you be a trusted source in your neighborhood, a better storyteller, somebody who can keep track of what's going on and, keep the powers that be in check as well, which is what journalism is for in the first place. So the stuff that we do and calling folks out and talking, make sure that we have conversations with them and figure out why things are happening and figure out what's happening in the legislature and so on. All these things are things that journalists do. So we all kind of journal, especially with social media these days. Everybody who puts anything out or spreads anything is a journalist.
Yeah.
So you need to have the tenets of journalism in order to be a trusted source.
It's actually a right. Again, the First Amendment. Everybody has the freedom of press. Is one of the only professions that is laid out in the Constitution. That is a right. Everybody has the right to freedom of press. So you add some principles, some integrity, some training to it, and you have your voice be heard.
And not only that, this is we throw around this term the fourth estate a lot. And it hit me. Sometimes we don't really explain what the fourth estate is. It's part of this whole checks and balance that our society is supposed to be having. The fourth estate is what are the first 3 estates, buddy? Do you remember what the first 3 estates are?
Yeah. And I'm kind of breaking it down as we talk to the senators. I mean, you got the executive, you have the administrative, you have the legislative, and you have the judicial. Mm-hmm. So you got the governor. Let's talk about the state level. The governor and all of his administration, all of his departments, the DED, DHHS, all these departments fall under the administrative branch. Mm-hmm. Of course, the senators, they are part of the legislation. They're the legislative. They create the laws, and then you have the judges, the courts. That's the judicial. Those are your 3 branches of government. Hopefully, we're all familiar with that. But again, the fourth estate is again also laid out in the Constitution, the First Amendment, the freedom of press and the ability to, talk about what these other branches are doing and what else is going on in the community and in the, in society. So as the fourth estate, as Paul mentioned, our whole job is to make sure that those 3, which are supposed to balance each other, that they're not working in cahoots, to get over.
As you can imagine, it's real easy for them 3 to work in cahoots.
Man.
And that happens all the time. There's only one policing of that. Yeah, that's the press, which is the reason why you got fake news smear campaigns going on. You got journalists getting attacked. You got a war on journalism. You got all this stuff happening. That's why I say it's the most gangster thing you can do right now is be a journalist. And that's because there is a war on telling the truth.
Yeah, and even furthermore, we've kind of seen that fourth estate get blurred. I mean, to a certain extent, there is some fake news. Ask Fox, and who just got sued for putting out some fake news. So again, citizen journalists is the next wave, and what we're talking about as far as everyday people. Everyday people, not the Murdochs, who are in cahoots, and some of the family are politicians. Everyday people who have stake in the game, who are kind of the most impacted from this, being able to speak up and know themselves what's going on and to tell each other. So right. Come through.
And specifically the Black community. This is what we're concerned about. The Black community in North and South Omaha This is what we're in East Omaha. This is what we're concerned with mostly because we do not have much representation there when it comes to journalism anywhere. Every entity, every news entity needs to hire a journalist of color. That goes for our partners, Flatwater Free Press. That was when the Reader was here. They wanted more people of color in to report. That's Omaha World Herald, Channel 7. Any entity that is a news entity, they could use a bigger pool of black journalists, of journalists of color, and black journalists, especially in the black neighborhoods. They got access to our neighborhoods. They can tell our stories the way that they need to be told, and also open it up to people in the neighborhood that we consider experts in the field, and so on and so forth. This is so necessary. So we have a very big concentration. We want to teach everybody the tenets of being a citizen journalist. But we are especially looking for young black folks that want to write, young black folks that want to story tell and open up things, open up our cities, our side of the city to the rest of the world. I mean, it's very important to do that. So again, Content Creators Camp 2023. This is week 4, Saturday, August 26th. I'll be your instructor. We'll be talking about storytelling in the age of media, in the age of new media, how to use new media, and just how to be a citizen in Omaha, how to be a citizen around town, somebody who's a trusted source, somebody that will open up and talk to you when you're trying to gather information because you're a trusted source. And that's what these trainings are all about. This is week 4. There's a 12-week course. We encourage everybody to come to all the rest of the weeks and tell a friend and bring a friend. This is a free course, so it's nothing that you got to pay. Come on through. I have some donuts and coffee and a little fruit plate and some things there, so we can have a little bit to bite on in the morning and have a discussion. It's really like a little mini content creator. It's like a little Chad Chambers kickback kind of. With some instruction from very important individuals as well. Dr. Zugner, we had Abby Kretz on from the Documenters. We'll have Chris Bowling on coming up. So we'll have some people that can really give you some really good instruction on some things, and I'll be there this Saturday at the Culture House. So please, if you have not signed up yet, go ahead and do so, and tell a friend, bring a friend, and let's all get together and talk more about this idea of keeping the powers that be in check.
Yeah, and we see Malik Rogers in the chat saying Black Omaha needs to catch up to this wave. Hiring journalists is one approach, but what is benefit for working for mass media? Self-sustaining independent Black journalism is more ideal. Research experience of Byron Allen and Roland Martin. I mean, of course, we're the home, the birthplace of the largest Black-owned media company. Talk about Radio One and I'm drawing a blank on her name. Miss Kathy Hughes. Miss Kathy Hughes. Again, from Omaha, went to Benson. And now Radio One and TV One, some of the largest. I mean, talking about Roland Martin, I think he's on TV One, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So again, we're all for that. And shout out to the Omaha Stars. Shout out to Jakeem Fox, who's writing on Medium. You'll be seeing some of his work on our new website as well. So we're definitely moving towards that. As far as having our own platforms, having our own voice, not just farming our, journalists out to other newsrooms only for their voice to get stifled and, the stories that they're pitching to get shut down by the editors.
Well, they need to be in there too, though. We got to be like
they do.
We got to be like Wu-Tang Clan and have all of our strongest MCs in all the record companies, have our strongest journalists in all the news entities on top of us having our own. So we're going to attack it from both fronts, and that's what this is all about. So yeah, once again, please come through. Really appreciate everybody who has been who's signed up so far and come through so far. It's been great. It's been great so far. So let's continue on with it. That said, let's jump into some other things. It's 8:14 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, stay tuned with us. We will have an extensive HAPS a little later on in just about 15 minutes. In the meantime, between time, what's next on the agenda, buddy?
Man, I want to pivot right into this. Is actually a great segue into this story about Brother Ejiki, man. This is not in the news. This is the importance of us having our own platforms, having our own news, because this would definitely be a headline, maybe even front page for us. Big shout out to my brother Ejiki, Eric Ejiki. You might know him as DJ Giddy Jiki with it. But pretty soon you'll have to call him CEO, as he has been named the new Chief Executive Officer of NOAA, North Omaha Area Health Clinic, which is a very, very useful resource in the area that I don't really hear much about. and conversation. Again, NOAA North Omaha area health clinic is exactly what it says, a health clinic. I mean, but I think there's a barbershop in there. There's a lot of things going on in that business. The shout out to brother Shamari Huggins. I know he did a lot of work with the youth through NOAA. But again, there are a lot of services available to the public. We talk about the hospitals closing down in our areas. We talk about the lack of available health care. So again, let's big up what we do have, not just Charles Drew, but NOAA also right in the community, right off of 60th and Ames. So again, big shout out to brother Ejiki. Definitely would love to get him on to kind of talk about the work that he's doing. I saw Kimmer Snipes earlier in the chat give a shout out to the founder of NOAA, Mr. Ira Combs. Shout out to him as well. He's been kind of leading the charge for quite some time. But again, hopefully Ejiki, can help get it into the next era. The next era. I know I actually talked to him while I was in Omaha over the summer and ran into him, and he kind of mentioned that to keep it hush, but this announcement will be coming, and he seemed pretty excited about it, man. He seemed pretty happy. So I'm definitely happy for my brother, and I'm definitely looking forward to the work that he's going to do with this great platform. So again, if you're not familiar, you see the website, definitely check it out. Can we post that link in the chat? For anyone who is interested. Again, North Omaha Area Health definitely is a resource that we should all be using in the community.
Most definitely. And speaking of the work that this brother's doing, like you said, I like the way you put that. It is definitely front page news for us. If First Sky Omaha was a newspaper, then we'd have this on the front page because it's huge. We've been losing black leaders,
Man,
and it's great that we have programs that are still running, and not just programs that are still running, but black leaders that are coming in and doing their thing. And he's not, that's not all he does. This brother works.
yeah.
This brother works. Here's his upcoming DJ and podcast events. He's part of the Streets A&R. We talk about other podcasts and things that are out there that we're all about. Streets A&R is one of them, man. This is an Omaha resource. Brothers getting together talking about what's going on, and especially in entertainment, but other topics too. They talk about a lot of stuff over there as well. So other podcast events coming up. But he's not just got a full-time ED job, CEO job. He's here doing this job as well, DJing and doing podcast events. And there you go, grounded in culture, created the beat, live your rhythm.
Man, yeah. Yep.
So yeah, man, straight up.
Also, throwing events. We got the sneaker soiree we'll be getting into a little later on in the Haps, but that's Ejiki. That's brother Ejiki. He's putting that together. That's his event. I believe that's his brainchild. Yeah. So, yeah. He's working, man. He's very, very busy. Definitely would love to get him on here soon on the show to kind of break down everything he's doing and how people can get in contact. I was actually on the Streets A&R podcast while I was in Omaha. We did take some time, so I did post that on the Friends of page. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and support. Go ahead and check them out. Again, brother Ejiki, brother Johnny No Good. Yeah, they get down.
Yeah, man. That's what's up. Good news. Congratulations to the brother. Can't wait to have him on. Yep.
Definitely. And I guess in other good news, let's keep it with that. If you're looking for a way to help those suffering from the tragedy in Hawaii, there's a way. Again, the Hawaiian Student Club in Creighton is holding a donation drive to help with the Maui wildfire victims. Eva Karaneva, who was preparing to fly back. Again, she's from Hawaii. But again, the tragedy struck earlier this month. Her childhood home was spared, but her family lost electricity, and her diabetic grandmother was unable to refrigerate her insulin for nearly a week. And again, my mother is a diabetic, so that's definitely a scary situation. The fires have now killed a total of 111 people, possibly more, mainly around Lahaina. Did I say that? Lahaina?
Lahaina. Mm-hmm.
Lahaina. More than 3,000 buildings in town were damaged by fire, smoke, or both. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, we haven't really talked about it, but I'm hearing that these families are only getting $700, a one time $700 stipend to help them get through this. And as we all know, especially dealing even if you're not dealing with losing all your belongings in your house burning down, $700 isn't much, so again, just to start life over, to get one $700, it's not a lot. So my point is, people need all the help that they can get. So again, if you would like to help, if you would like, again, Boots to the Roots is the theme of this season. So there is an opportunity to help. The drive will be held from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Creighton's Lead Center parking lot. That's 23rd and Cass Streets. That's this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Again, that's from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the Lead Center parking lot on 23rd and Cass.
We've been talking about, I've been talking about a lot about families that I know that are out there. There's still thousands of people there's 1,000 people unaccounted for still. So we're up to up past 100 on deaths and still 1,000 unaccounted for. A lot of those were elderly people that just could not get out in time, and so you can imagine some of the tragedy that's happened there. And you're right, Marion Williams says $700 won't cover temporary housing, even much less with it. Will take to rebuild.
Man.
There's a lot of things going on when it comes to this, and you can kind of see things happening like vultures going over there trying to buy up land for cheap now, pennies on the dollar, from families that are grieving from their elderly ones passing away. It's a lot of mess. So I've talked to a few people over there that are real mad at Biden right now, man. He didn't come out fast enough. He didn't say the right stuff, and you only offered him $700. And not everybody, you know what I'm saying? So it sounds like the mayor and the governor are trying to do more out there for the people than anybody else is. And they're saying you will not come here and manipulate these people and get this land. So there's a lot of policy, a lot of things going on here. And what struck me was that I've been the only one talking about it since I lived in Hawaii, but there's a whole Hawaiian community here in Omaha. And when I first got in town, kind of connected with them, because they were the only ones that was putting together like a yearly Hawaii kind of luau events where you can eat some actual real Hawaiian food. And they haven't done that for a while, but there's still a group there. For some reason, there's a big draw to Creighton. Creighton has quite the community there. So again, they're there, and they're like the article was saying, Omaha World Herald told the story about one of these students that have a connection there with family back there. So it hits home even here. And so our Hawaiian community that's here too, we want to look out for them as well. And so definitely take part in that if you are so inclined to go and help some of that stuff. I'll put that up there again. Drive will be held from 9 to 5. Creighton's Lead Center parking lot, 23rd and Cass Street, Saturday and Sunday.
And again, if you don't have money, or if you can't really afford to donate money, they're also looking for toiletries, clothing, towels, feminine hygiene products, as well as other stuff. So again, if you got a spare toothbrush, if you have anything that you can possibly give for these families who are dealing with the situation, then do it.
Yeah. Hotels have been out there giving people who are displaced, I guess I should say, rooms. And they've a lot of them have shut down their business. They're like, don't come out here and get a room. We need all the rooms we got right now to house these people. So everybody's trying to do their part. Brooks says $700 is about the same as throwing paper towels.
Yep. Let's not forget Nebraska, our very own governor, just spent $2 million just to send troops down to Texas to help with the border. I'm sure Hawaii could use that help.
Man. So shout out to the students over there at Creighton putting that together, man, for real. Moving along, 8:24 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. We're getting close to getting Haps portion of the show. So what we got going on here that we need to continue to?
Yeah, well, we'll go from Creighton to University of Nebraska. Nebraska Examiner has some news on some changing of power. Looks like University of Nebraska's Ted Carter is going to be the next president at Ohio State, and he's been given a pretty hefty bonus, $144,000 from Nebraska University. University of Nebraska needs a new president next year, so that's definitely something else we should look out for. There's definitely been some controversies at UNL. If you remember, there was a push to have CRT recognized on the campus, and the regents are now our governor, Jim Pillen, was against that. So definitely kind of keeping an eye out what's going on with leadership at University of Nebraska, NU system president Ted Carter, the former superintendent of the U.S. Naval Academy and apparently a vice admiral, again, was named the next president at Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. This will start in January of 2024. And then Also, the board chairman and John Ziegler is a vice chair, lauded Carter as a man of integrity and experience. So he's getting a lot of love. But again, some changes at the head of NU.
He's getting a lot of love, and that means that we losing a leader.
Yep.
So that was kind of the gist of that. Shout out to Marianne Williams for putting that in Friends for Sky Omaha. Just another example of some good eggs that are in the Lincoln area that are leaving. What will keep people here in Nebraska, bro? Like, why you get all this pushback from your government, from your city, to do things, and while you're trying to make some change happen, and people can get tired of that. Then somebody comes with with $100,000 bonus, you might consider, well, I might fight in this fight. Let me go and get up. But where does that leave everybody else? So just another example of somebody who was pretty much on the right path as far as I could see.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things that he did was help launch the Nebraska Promise Program, which helps low and middle income Nebraskans attend UNO, actually not UNO, but NU, tuition free. He's also been working on a 5-year plan to improve the university system as a whole. He has also helped the campus navigate the COVID-19 pandemic. We didn't really hear many issues come out of NU during really the whole pandemic, which means good leadership was at the helm of that. Pillin, again in a statement Tuesday, credited Carter's embrace of NU's Board of Regents leadership pillars. Pillin chaired the Board of Regents, of course, a search committee that recommended Carter's hiring. So Pillin did have his support, but again, there was some pushback. Also, the role of NU president is one of great responsibility as well as great opportunity, according to Governor Pillin. He says, "I know the role of NU president will speak to others very soon and will gain another perfect fit or for the university system." So again, we're constantly talking about education here, and not just K through 12, but a higher education. What does it mean for the university system in Nebraska? What does that mean for the retention of talent? What does that mean for the retention specifically of students of color? I mean, we talk about HBCUs all the time, but if there was a university, that we felt welcomed at, I'm sure we would go. So again, definitely looking at what's going on with this new president search, as now Ted Carter, the former president of the University of Nebraska, goes to Ohio State. And at Sherman Wells, that was Ted Carter, again, the president of NU, who started that, or at least helped start the Nebraska Promise Program.
Yeah. Speaking of searches, we definitely got to jump into OPS. They're finally trying to reach out to the public about their search.
Man. Yeah, definitely a good segue.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't know if you were ready to segue, but I was it just made me think, here we are looking for talent again.
Man, no, it's a perfect segue. It is a perfect segue because we do have an opportunity as the public to talk about OPS and where their leadership is going to come from, as there is an invite for public input. There's actually 2 opportunities coming up. The district announced just yesterday that they will host several community forums between September 28th and October 4th. OPS residents will be able to give input on district strengths, opportunities, and qualifications of an ideal future superintendent. According to Ricky Smith, who we've been looking for comment, he was reached in this article. He says, input from the students, staff, and families we serve is an essential part of this work. The board is seeking a new superintendent to, again, replace the resignation of Dr. Cheryl Logan. Matt Ray, who isn't involved in the search, will serve as interim superintendent until a new candidate is hired. So again, Matt Ray is in that position currently.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, the same thing, holds as far as the importance of leadership in OPS. So a lot of people have been vocal about this. So seize the opportunity to have your voice heard.
Omaha World Herald put that article out.
Yep.
So Ricky Smith spoke to them on this subject. Also, another thing that's significant about this is they've been kind of tight-lipped about what's going on there. As a matter of fact, individuals that were on the board left the board because they didn't feel like their voices were being heard about the choices for superintendent. So it's interesting to me that now the search is going on. Here we are months later, and it's almost like it almost feels like a little kind of desperation, a little bit like, well, let's see let's put it to the public now. Before the public starts realizing that there's so much time is going by here. But what are we gonna do? Well, I hope we've been getting reports that there hasn't been a whole lot of listening to the public or even to people on their own board in the past. So it's significant to me that now they're opening it up to the public to help with the search.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest points of contention from the likes of I think Miss Jane Erdenberger, who was one of the ones that was on that committee that left. And I think she was vocal about wanting the public to have more opportunity. Again, although they are announcing this forum, to your point, the argument was why not sooner and why not more? It sounds, I want to hammer it down. This is only a week that people are getting opportunity to speak on this. September 28th and 30th will be forums, and then October 3rd and 4th will be forums. That's only the course of a week.
Right.
September 28th to October 4th. That's 7 days.
So it's not. So it doesn't. Yeah, it's not. I mean, like you said, why not sooner? Brianna Full, also who was on the board, has also been saying that. Like, she's been very vocal about. She thinks that it ought to be more public that has more to say on these subjects here, and she would love to see that open up to the public more, and it just wasn't before. So, it makes me wonder, like, why now? Why a week? Why all of a sudden after everybody else has kind of been reporting that they're not listening? I don't know. I don't know the answer to these questions. We'll reach out to Ricky Smith again, Brother Smith, see if he'll come on and talk to us and figure out what's happening firsthand. Also, Brianna Full is going to be coming on here pretty soon as well. She was doing some traveling and wanted to wait until she got back in town to come on the show, so we can talk to her because she's in those meetings all the time. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. Yeah. I'll jump into the chat real quick. Malik Rogers talking about the last subject on UNL. UNL said, "Hold your applause. Less than 3% black students at UNL." If I was in high school, I don't know why I would choose UNL.
Yeah, I mean, when it came down to my choices, it was either the school I went to or UNL. And
was it?
I chose the school I went to, which was actually $3,000 more than going to UNL. But it just, I wouldn't do it differently. I'll tell you that much.
Maybe if you play football, you would have more of a draw to
film. There you go.
You want to be a Husker? Marianne Williams says there's not a lot of college presidents can do if the regents and legislature decide to eliminate CRT, SEL, equity, and honest education.
Yeah, I mean to that point. Mm-hmm. To that point, it wasn't necessarily UNL that it was Nebraska. I was just trying to get out of Nebraska, man. Like that was my goal. If I could pay just a couple $1,000s more to get out of here, I'm gonna do it. I'm out. I'm out because it's Nebraska. It's not just UNL, but it's the governors at the time who I think was Ricketts at the time. Yeah.
We reported several times about UNL trying to take a more advanced stance on some things and then getting pushback from the governor and everybody else and the mayor. It's been an ongoing story there.
Ricketts had a lot to say,
as he does. He's back around running for his seat. You see that in the news?
Yeah. Well, I think he.
Let me show you how the Nebraska Examiner said.
Yeah. I have to remember correctly, and if anybody remembers, please correct me. But if I'm not mistaken, Geist stepped down to run for the mayor of Lincoln. Pillen, who just became the governor, appointed Ricketts to replace Geist. And now Ricketts has to run again to keep his seat. I think that's what's going on. But Ricketts is already a senator. Ricketts is currently a senator.
Yep, he's in the Senate. I like the way that the Nebraska Examiner titled this thing. Ricketts announces run for election to his appointed seat in the U.S. Let's remind everybody that he was appointed by the current administration to take this seat. It conjured up the thought about that. It was a real kind of shady thing.
Yeah, I mean, remember, if I'm not mistaken, Ricketts also helped Pillen pay for his campaign. So
that's what I'm saying. The family got Ricketts in, and then Ricketts turned around and appointed him. So now here we are. He's got to run for his right. Mm-hmm. So voting season coming up. That's all we're saying. In the chat, real quick, Kimmer Snipe says Jane is not is the one that Jane is the one that was told she could not have a meeting specifically about the search by the accountability committee.
Right, and here they are announcing their own meeting.
Their own meeting, right? Yeah, man, it's crazy, dude.
Man, Cheryl Weston.
Cheryl Weston, yeah.
I guess she's not going for it.
Ricky Smith's statement was a joke. Man, don't pull no punches.
Man,
The only reason for putting it out to the public is because, oh man, it's going off right now, is because they are attempting to gain support for OPS, who is against school scholarships for the Black Brown. Ooh. Also, Ricky Smith said something earlier too that I was saying. What that was well, I mean, not Ricky Smith. I'm sorry. I got to try to find this comment because I was like, man, they going in. Oh, Malik Rogers says, what we not going to do is co-sign this lack of leadership from Ricky Smith and selection committee. Man, Ricky, Brother Smith, you better come on, man. We trying to give you opportunity to speak.
Right, defend yourself. You know, we trying to give you a fair shake to speak.
Yeah.
Holla at us.
Lee says, Marion Williams, free tuition is great if you have the academics to get accepted to the school. Very true. Kimmer Snipe says, I think I'm going to provide public comment at the next meeting. Word.
Please do. Please do.
Marianne Williams says, no, Geist was a state senator, not is senator.
She said Geist was a state senator. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think Geist stepped down. She resigned to run for the mayoral position.
And lost.
Then the mayoral seat in Lincoln and lost. And then because she resigned, somebody had to replace her, and Pillin appointed Ricketts, who helped pay for Pillin's campaign, to fill her seat. Is that how Ricketts became a senator, if I'm not mistaken? Oh, okay. Ricketts took Sass's seat.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ben Sass.
He's a U.S. senator. That's what she said.
Yes. Ben Sass went to Florida.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Florida didn't want him. Remember that? It was all protesting. This whole school protested him not coming.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that correction.
Sean McCarthy says, yeah, not a Herbster fan, but Ricketts folks played a major role in pushing Herbster out for Pillin. Mr. Erkenfeld says, if you're not white male, UNL doesn't offer safe feeling. Yeah, talking about coming to UNL. Like, there's a reason why it's 3% black. It ain't just because they ain't letting them in. Who want to go? I mean, unless I wanted to be a Husker, I don't know. I don't know.
But there is credence to Mr. Erkenfeld's comment. I do remember several reports in the news about, kind of the culture of UNL, rape kits not being reported and tested and things like that.
Lots to it. Marion Williams says Ricketts relaxed Ben Sass, who out of nowhere got an important job. Yeah, we were just talking about
Yep.
Out of nowhere.
Florida,
Florida feels like it's linked. It's a trip. She says Malik, UNL is easy to get into. Staying is harder. Kimmer Snipe says MORE is doing research on graduation rates and other numbers by demographics within the university system. Interesting.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Easter. Yep, Governor took Brent Sass to see Brianna Full in the chat. Hey, we were just talking about you. Your ears must have been ringing. She says, I'm listening and will be on soon to speak on all of this. She ghost listening over. She over here ghost listening.
Yep. Hey, we need you to speak up. Got some questions, comments, and concerns.
Come on in. Kimber Snipe says, more Omaha movement on racial equality. Oh, okay, yeah. I remember the MORE movement. I think you just met somebody from them. That's
okay.
We need to talk more to that organization. Sean McCarthy says, with Ted Carter's vacancy, I would not be surprised if Ricketts Pillin tried to lobby Sass to be president of UNL.
That's the end. After he went down to Florida and got the game plan, went down to Florida and learned.
Look here, Sean McCarthy. I don't appreciate you ruining my day with that news.
Hey, but I said it when the move happened. Like, the grand old party script. The grand old party script. And watching what's going down in Florida. I said it.
I've never seen a student body protest a hire like that. They were in the streets, like, don't come. They were picketing and protesting for him not to be there, and they just was like, well, come on in. Marianne Williams says, what college in Nebraska provides safe feeling for minorities, though? UNO would be better than YNL in that regard. UNL in that regard, I don't know.
I didn't go to Nebraska University system. I couldn't
same
tell
thing
you.
with Creighton. That's a good question. Keatron Zykel in the house. Good morning to you.
Hey,
I hope that you can come through Saturday and just kind of chill with us on Saturday morning if you
hang out.
let us know. She said, then Sass resigned from the U.S. Senate to take the president's job at the University of Florida. Still, so Pill appointed Ricketts to replace him. Yep. Miss Weston says public opinion to OPS is a waste, but the public opinion would be on the record. Still good reason to go for that.
Yes, good point.
Sean McCarthy says, I didn't say I want that to go down. I know. I'm just internal pessimist when it comes to Nebraska politics. Well,
yeah, hey, we right there with you, man. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Brianna Full says, not a waste, Miss Weston. The board needs to hear from the public. Board needs to hear it. It needs to be on public record. But I'm kind of with Miss Weston on this. I don't know how much a week's worth of public is gonna do anything when they didn't want the public's opinion in the first place all these months. So we'll see. But Brianna Full's in there in the meeting, so we'll go off of her word, especially when she comes onto the show and talks about it a little bit more. Marianne Williams says no way zone task can pay what Sass is making at U of Florida. That's right. They paying him big bucks to be down there.
Yeah, they are. But I don't know, man. If Ricketts and Pillin, if they want to make it happen, they'll find the money. It's Friday. Make it enough.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, there you go. Make it enough. We appreciate you guys coming on through on this Friday. This is Haps Friday. We're going to jump into the Haps here pretty soon. But thank you for everybody that's been lasting here throughout the show. That's what chat chimers. Y'all get down. If you miss any parts of this show, you can always go back and watch it in its entirety on Facebook or YouTube. Check out the chats when you do, because that's where all the action is.
Going down.
The magic happens.
Yeah, man. Before we jump into the hats, I do have one last story. We got a brief full in the chat, so maybe you can give us a little insight on what's going on with this transportation situation as well. Speaking of making it enough, OPS is trying to make it enough with these special education shortages, and now there's a transportation issue going on. Again, we reported on schools closing due to a shortage in special education teachers, but now the Omaha School District is looking to contract out some of its special education bus routes to help address the critical shortage of drivers. During a Monday school board meeting, members approved a memorandum of understanding between the district and Service Employees Local 226, which is the drivers union that represents transportation employees for OPS. The agreement recognizes that a quote-unquote emergency exists as a result of the fact that district is short on drivers for special education routes. They're currently hiring and will continue to hire qualified drivers while current staff pick up multiple routes. Despite everyone's best efforts, our students are waiting longer than they should. So we definitely don't want students just standing out on the corner, especially as winter approaches. The agreement allows OPS to contract outside of the union to fill those bus routes. But if permanent OPS driver is hired, they will replace any contracted employee. So again, the mad dash continues, especially with our special needs students, the students who need the most attention and care. Seems like they're not getting it, man. So again, more issues with OPS.
Yep. And there's always going to be, man, it's too big of an organization. It's too big of a budget. There's always going to be something. And I really just think that, we've learned so much over time. We've been focusing on the board and had people in chat that are board members, chat chimers that are board members, ghost listeners that are board members. And then we learn sometimes it ain't even all about the board. Sometimes it's about the administration. Most of the time it's about the administration. We learned that board has some power, but not as much as we thought. Everything doesn't just change because the board voted something. It's mostly the administration who controls the budget. The board has a lot to say on that. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here. It's like a little government within itself.
Yes, it is. See the balance of powers.
So lots to always talk about when it comes to this situation here for sure. So I hope they get this whole bus situation, because like you just put whoever wrote that article put the nail in it when they said we don't want kids. Was that you that just added that? We don't want kids standing outside in the winter.
Yeah, that was me. I'm just ad-libbing, just throwing that in there. Like, yes, we have, and again, like put it in perspective. They just closed down 3 schools, special needs programs. So now those families have to travel. And if they don't have transportation, You know what I mean? Or there's their bus has to pick up and drop off two other lots of kids. You're gonna be waiting out there for quite some time, and people, don't have time to just be waiting or don't have time to drive. Like, it's a very sticky situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brianna Full says we deliver door-to-door services for our special needs students. Because I'm glad you said that because I was about to.
Man,
We got special needs students might be standing outside in the winter. Uh, we deliver door-to-door services for our special needs students. We simply don't have enough drivers to handle all the students and are still finding solutions.
okay, there you
Man,
go.
he fresh in the chat. What's up? Says for some reason chats don't show for me when I watch the show afterwards. You got to
Hmm.
go. There's two different places the chats are coming from: YouTube and Facebook, and Friends of First Sky Omaha. So actually three places. So go check the chats out. I'll double check on that YouTube situation though, because I'm not quite sure. You might be telling me something new here. The chats don't show up for me when I watch the show afterwards. So I'll go and find out about what that is with YouTube. But half of the chats are coming from Facebook. So you can go to the First Guy Omaha Facebook page and watch the show there and see some of the chats. But a lot of the chats are coming from YouTube now. So I'll go back and double check about whether or not they're showing up. Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Eric Fell said Buffett just released a map that shows only 46% of Lincoln and Omaha childcare within 10 blocks of public transportation. I think this is a precursor to improved routes, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Also, we need to remember that Lincoln has better bus routes than Omaha, so our percentage is much lower. Miss Cheryl Weston is saying, "Sorry, Brianna. The truth is the truth. OPS has failed to really listen to the public. They hear but don't listen. The vote is already set. Hopefully, you will be able to make a difference." Mary Williams says, "Chat is not available on YouTube after the show." Man,
Yeah, I think you can only make comment, like post a comment as regular. I don't know. We'll have to look into it. That's a good.
Yeah,
It's a good point.
Appreciate that very much. Also, Brianna Full says, Paul, you're right about the board not having that much power. It's mostly administration. That's because the admin has fostered an environment where they actively take away power from the board. Wow.
Man, I'm hearing more and more about that. Like teachers being afraid to speak out because of the administration coming down on them. Now we're hearing from the board that the administration has found a way to take power. From my understanding, again, it's kind of like the legislation administration. Like, yes, Senator McKinney and Wayne, yes, they can push LB 1024 and they can get the bill and they can get the money allocated, but it's up to the governor and whoever he appoints and his administration, the DED, the administration to actually fulfill it and administer the bill. So we'll definitely have to see who's in the administration, what's going on with that.
Only people that follow the power and follow the money like that are journalists. So if you are in the chat, you basically are a citizen journalist already.
Already.
Might as well come and learn the tenets of journalism at our Contents Creator Camp 2023. We're at week 4 already. This is going to be at the Culture House, 10 o'clock at the Culture House this Saturday, August 26th. It's a 12-week program. We're on week 4. We encourage everybody to do all the rest of the weeks, but if you can only make some, that's fine too. It's a free training. So bring yourself, bring a friend. If you haven't registered, go to Friends of First Sky Omaha, and it's posted there. It's pinned there at the top. Excuse me. The registration is to come on in. Everybody who registered, though, we highly encourage you to come on through. We really appreciate you doing so, and also bring a friend. We want to have as many people in as trained as possible. I mean, this is what we're trying to do: is have these kinds of discussions, keep track of these things, call people out, bring the things to the people's attention. Change some hearts and minds. Believe it or not, First Sky Omaha has been integral in helping some of the reason why voting is going on and some of the votes that are happening is because of some of these discussions that we have. We're in the business of changing hearts and minds and getting on the same page about some things, and it's really working. People are paying attention. I'm hearing it from the street. I'm hearing it from places of power all the time too. There are people paying attention here. I'm talking to y'all, ghost listeners. You know who you are, sitting around listening. Right. We see you. Anyway, this is going to teach us how to be more creative, better storytellers with new media. If we take some of these tenets of being a journalist here and apply them to our citizenry. So come on through to the Content Creators Camp 2023, week 4, this Saturday, coming up, 10 o'clock, Culture House. I'll be this week's instructor. I can't wait to see you guys there. And like I said, what do we got? 8 more weeks.
Yeah, we're going through October, like early October. We're doing so most of go through September, a couple weeks in October, and then we'll be done.
Yep, and we finally got the dates that we will not be at the elevator spaces. It's going to be between elevator and Culture House. So just stay tuned each week for information on which one we're going to hit. And shout out to Marcy Yates for bringing in Culture House on this whole training situation too. And yeah, man, Culture House gets down. So we'll hopefully see you there on Saturday.
Yeah, and Culture House is doing a lot too, man. Definitely make sure you tap in with them again for artists, but not just artists. As Paul mentioned earlier, they have a lot of things for content creators. Actually, he has a media camp that he does with the youth. So yeah, man. Big shout out to Marcy, man. Please tap in with what they have going on. Buy you some records, buy you some comic books, some clothes. Yeah, check out the Culture House. They get down.
That's right. As a matter of fact, we'll talk about them just as soon as we start the haps.
Hey.
What's the haps? What's happening? What's going down?
You know how that bass drum sounds on everybody's.
Sounds jamming is how it sounds.
What's the haps?
Some funk. What's the haps, ladies and gentlemen? It's time for the haps. Time for us to talk about what's going on this weekend. It is Friday, so we'll have a little bit more time to get into it this time around. Put your haps in the chat as well, and also put your haps over there on Friends of First Sky Omaha, and we'll absolutely be talking about what's going on here. So appreciate everybody that's been joining in on the situation. We'll go ahead and jump right in with the Culture House, because the Culture House is now, they've always been partners, but now they're partnering with us on the Content Creators Camp. So we definitely want to give them a shout out. They've been hosting these art battles, and they've been off the chain, man, for real. So there's another one coming September 16th. Mark that on your calendar. 6 o'clock at the Culture House. Pretty exciting stuff, man. They get together, all these artists get together, and they got a time frame they got to do their art in, and a lot of good art coming out of there, a lot of good collaborations coming out of there.
Yeah,
exciting times, man. 12 artists, 3 rounds, 1 champion. Art Battle Omaha is going down. This is a countrywide event. I didn't realize that this is all over the country. This happens. So we're the Omaha Culture House is the Omaha chapter of this art battle. So that's what's up, man. Doing some stuff that could lead to some national exposure at some point. So 6 o'clock on September 16th, 2023. Come on through to the Culture House for the art battle. Can't wait,
man. And I'm starting to love hearing that type of stuff, man. Because we always talk about, you and I, always talk about Omaha. Like growing up in Omaha, you never really felt a connection to the national stage. It's just like, middle of the map. Nobody really knows about Podunk, little Omaha, Nebraska, where nobody even knows. Yeah, there's black people there. Like, really? Y'all all on the farm? Like, is that how you living? Like, that's, you know what I mean? But finally getting people to recognize Omaha and seeing Omaha connected on various levels from the artists. I mean, shout out to Jay Rynell. Shout out to, if you don't know about Jay Rynell, check him out. Talented vocalist, making waves out in LA, killing it. He's from Omaha. Yeah. Jocelyn, shout out to her. She's making waves. I mean, Amber Ruffin. I mean, we can go on and on.
Simone Sanders.
Man, Simone Sanders. And now, just heard about what Kethro is doing in connection to, you know what I mean? To now we have national companies that's coming in, and it's a beautiful thing to see the growth and people recognizing what's going on in Omaha and the hidden gem that is Omaha on a national level. Like it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, man. Because
we'll be doing more as First Sky Omaha to highlight a lot of that.
Yes.
That's where we're in the position to do that.
Yeah.
Moving on to the haps, though. First of all, Ms. Cheryl Weston is asking, are we recording the Content Creators Camp? We're doing some recording. We're not recording the whole each entire instructions section. Well, we're taking pieces of it, and we'll put something together later on. That'll be some of the highlights of some of the stuff that happened during the camp. But no, we're not doing it this time. Next time we do our training, there will be some opportunity for you to be able to check it out live stream if you can't make it in person. But that's down the road for us. But this is our first venture into this education piece here, and we realize that if we want to be able to keep on spreading the news and keep on having more conversations about the news and gathering news, that we needed reporters, we needed people to be able to storytellers, and so there has to be a training aspect in everything First Sky Omaha does, because we just don't have enough black reporters in North Omaha and enough people of color in East Omaha in general talking about what's going on there. So we have to do some training. So we're putting extensive training together. That'll be a thing that we do going forward with First Sky Omaha. We appreciate everybody who is a donor and a sponsor, because now you're sponsoring some education out here in order for us to build an army of citizen journalists for the state, like we explained earlier. It's got to go down. So appreciate everybody that's doing that. Sean McCarthy, also a journalist, appreciate him. He says, for fans of hardcore Derek Higgins music, Saturday at the Waiting Room RAF album release show.
Hey,
RAF is a legendary punk band out here, man, and the fact that they got some legends playing. I haven't seen brother Derek Higgins is a big brother to me. He's a mentor of mine. I don't know if you guys remember him from the Mind and Soul days, Roots of Electric Jazz. That was quite the show. But brother Higgins is playing in this hardcore band, and it's all to, I'm a big fan of black rock. I love it. I love the fact that this band was such a legendary band, and he's been pushing this and promoting that show like I haven't seen him do for a while. Like something like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a very significant show coming up. So Big Bro said, make it. I got my tickets. I'll see you there at the Waiting Room for RAF on Saturday night. So appreciate that. I think it's going to be close to sold out. That's what I heard on Word on the Street.
Man, beautiful.
Yeah, appreciate you putting that out there, Sean McCarthy. Very, very much. Also, moving on with the Haps too. Lots to go. I might as well go ahead and put Brother Ejiki up with all his haps going on. Man, he got a whole list of haps happening, man. We already are past some. He got the check marks. I like how he does his flyer here. Friday night vibes at the Green Room on the 25th. Offbeat series at the Tiny House. You remember he was our DJ for our first Chat Chimers kickback when we did it outside over there at the Tiny House. So I'm glad he kept that relationship with them over at the Tiny House and is doing something there on the 31st. Also on the fourth annual sneaker soiree. We'll be talking about that. Definitely check it out. And then Afrofest is happening the very next day. He's going to be out there with Marcy Yates at Stinson Park. So we can jump right into that. The sneaker soiree is happening September 1st. You get your gear together, get your fresh sneaks out, and get your tickets and go to the 4th annual sneaker soiree. It's going down to slow down. It's going to be fun.
Jiki doing that?
Jiki doing that, man, for real. Getting busy with it. Also, where did I put the there it is right there. Also, the very next day, Saturday the 2nd, Afrofest Omaha is happening. They're going to be turning 5 years old, man. This is their 5th year doing this. And it's going to be, it's crazy how great this show is. I can't even put it in words how fun it is. It's amazing. Thousands of people out there. You feel like you in Wakanda.
Man, beautiful people, beautiful clothes, beautiful food,
beautiful dancing, beautiful music.
Yeah, man.
The thing I enjoy the most about Afrofest is when a DJ will come from a certain region, like a Nigerian DJ will get up, and all the Nigerians will rush the stage and dance and do their thing. Man, they representing, bro. It's super, super fun. So I highly encourage. I don't care what shade of human you are, go check out Afrofest Omaha Saturday, September 2nd. And I suggest you hit up them food trucks because
man,
that's some food that's gonna lay you out. For real.
Yeah, they have the Rice Jollof Fest out here in Atlanta, and like the energy is the same, man. Like it's the same energy, it's the same vibe, man. And you would think it'd be complete, Omaha, Atlanta. Like again, it's definitely those types of vibes. Definitely check out Afrofest. It's going down. It's going down.
Got about 1 minute left. I want to jump back in here too. Gospel Fest coming up here, man. Tim Clark called me about the People United Fund concert is happening September 2nd as well, 7 p.m. We're actually going to have Jay Shannon and Tim Clark on the show next week to talk about this huge thing coming on. That's Kim Burrell. I'm not a big gospel listener, but I know who Kim Burrell is. That's some serious talent right there. So
JJ Marston too.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a major show. Like I said, we'll have the fellas on next week to talk about this more, but this is coming up. Tickets at OmahaMass2023.com at Ticketmaster. Huge show coming up, Baxter Arena. So I just want to put the word out there right now that this is happening. You might want to start looking at tickets if you're into this. Omaha Mass Choir, Tim Clark is always talking about. That's a major group there too. So yeah, definitely check it out. He says also featuring the return of Omaha Mass Choir. So that's what's up. The People United Fund concert.
There you go.
And there you go. We'll have the fellas on to talk about that in a minute. We're going to run a little bit late. We apologize for that. Just want to make sure that we get everybody in. Nightlight is also happening. What's the date on that? That's the 24th.
24. Yeah, it was yesterday.
That was last night. Missed it. All right, cool. But look for this. This is the monthly event, Nightlight. And our own DJ Scotty Pigeon is the DJ for these things too. It's a kind of an all adults like 18 and over night at the Illuminarium. So it might be a fun. I haven't been to this thing yet, but it might be a fun thing to go check out for real.
Yeah.
At the Luminarium there. Let's see what else we got. Don't forget about McKinney's announcement. North Omaha Turnback Tax Committee is happening on Monday, August the 28th. So this is Monday coming up, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. at Metropolitan Community College, the Fort Omaha campus, Building 21, Room 112. So definitely check that out. Building 21 is one of those new buildings over there that they got at the North Omaha campus. But check it out. He's going to be hosting this committee. And this will be talking about what's going on with the turnback tax. Again, the turnback tax is not the ARPA funds. It's a totally different fund. Whole nother thing. We will definitely have that put up on Friends of First Sky Omaha. Check that out. Was that the one you were looking at, buddy?
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. There's a Zoom link for that as well if you can't make that. So definitely check that out. That will be on Friends of. And then, of course, the LB 1024, the economic recovery. That again, it's a whole nother fund. 2 different meetings. One will be on Monday at Metro. The other will be on Tuesday downtown. 2 different meetings, 2 different lots of funds. But again, if you're interested, please, you can make both. So yeah, that will be going down. The 20. Let's see, was that 28th or 29th? Get that pulled up.
What's Monday? 5, 6, 27th.
No.
28th, 29th. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, the 29th will be the economic recovery forum with the DED. Again, everyone who applied, even if you did not get recommended for funds, even if you applied, you're still welcome to this information meeting. This will be at 2 p.m. on Tuesday in the auditorium of the Omaha State Office Building. That's 1313 Farnham Street. Again, that's Omaha State Office Building, 1313 Farnham Street in the auditorium on 2 p.m. on Tuesday.
Hit that for sure.
Yeah, please.
And then just to reiterate, Monday is the turnback tax meeting. So these are 2 different meetings, 2 different days. Well, like I said, we'll put the Zoom link in there too for people that can't show up to that one. Also, what's coming up too, Mixon's men are also turning 5.
Man,
5th-year anniversary is going down. Lots going on with this. They'll have music and all kinds of games, all kinds of stuff happen. This is August. This is 26th, so this is tomorrow. From 2 to 7, they'll be out there, 1405 Jackson Street. You know where Mixon's is at. Come on down over there. Games, face painting, bring the kids. You know, unless you want to get your face. You know, unless that's for adults. I don't know what the face painting is about. Prizes, all kinds of stuff. So come on down. I don't know if you still have time to be a vendor for this thing tomorrow. Probably not. But you never know. Don't take it from me. Go ahead and hit up mixonsomaha@gmail.com if you want to be a vendor to this event and see if it's still open there. But definitely go down and show them some respect for their 5th-year anniversary. Trishana is a powerhouse out here, so that's what's up.
Man,
Black-owned ice cream shop, bro.
Killing
and the people that work there starting their own ice cream shops and stuff like that. Like some real economic development coming out of what Miss Trishana is doing. So shout out to her. Congratulations for their 5th year in business. Go check out Mixon's, get you some ice cream, hang out, and have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, she's not been tight-lipped with the information either. All the information that she used to get her business, to get a brick and mortar, to keep her business funding. She does a lot of Zoom courses and all peer-to-peer training and all kind of things as far as financial literacy and business training. So big shout out to Trishana. Definitely check her out on social media.
Most def, appreciate that very much. We're gonna stay just a little bit longer. I appreciate you guys bearing with us past 9 o'clock. I just want to give some big ups to some other things. You guys get enough jazz on the green yet? This ain't Jazz on the Green. This is the Love 'em Jazz Festival. This will also be at Turner Park, Midtown Crossing, though. Saturday, September 2nd from 4 to 10. Free admission to this one, of course. And as you can see, there's going to be some heavy hitters out there. Grammy Award-winning Gerald Albright, bro. Like, when you talking about smooth jazz legends, bro. That's Gerald Albright in the house, man. I can't believe it. So that's what's up. Soul jazz flautist Alethea Renee, Chad Stoner of Omaha, Nebraska, and also who's down there? That's Dana Murray down there.
I think so.
Dana Murray down there, yeah. So go check out go to hollinscorp.com. That's www.HALLINS corp.com and get your information there and check them out. As you can see, lots of sponsors for this. People, they've been working hard at this. This has been an annual event. They were a partner of ours over at Mind and Soul. We used to always big up their events because they had Grammy award winning artists like Gerald Albright coming. So that's what's up. Get your smooth jazz on Turner Park. It's a free event. Check that out. Something else that I think is really, really interesting right now. Omaha Star has put out a calendar.
Okay.
Check this out. We'll go ahead and post this in Friends of First Sky Omaha. I think it's already there actually. But that's what's up, man. People that are trying to really gather together all the things that are happening. We'll put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha. We won't go through each event, but lots of events there. And shout out to Terry Sanders over at Omaha Star for putting a calendar out because, we can't cover it all. So that's what's up.
Yeah.
And this goes to show you a lot of the things that's happening around town. Empower Leadership Forum, ticketed event, Shake the Nation's Ambassador Workshop Center, IB Black Girl Reproductive Justice Summit. We already know what that's about.
Yes. Angela Davis.
The Angela Davis keynote speaker. Put that on your calendar, October 27th. It's going down. IB Black Girl is bringing out the legendary Angela Davis. Definitely don't want to miss that as well. So appreciate everybody that's putting that information out there. We'll definitely have more information to come, and we'll put all the stuff in Friends of First Sky Omaha. I'm not really seeing much else.
Miss Erica Felt in the chat says Las Chingonas Market is tomorrow. 12 to 5.
Okay, sweet. That's where they gonna be at.
Yeah, give us a location. Where?
Shawnee Hernandez from Island Chill 402 is the best, not just professional services, but we chopped it up and learned from each other. That's the best. Yeah, she's cool. She's super cool. And I love the kind of business she's doing, and got that boba shop opening up too, along with the Island Chill.
Okay.
So be looking out for her black business. She's everywhere too, man. She's one of the hardest working trucks in the business, man. She's everywhere. So that's what's up. Appreciate that. Malik Rogers says, are content creators attending meetings to report back? Which meetings are you talking about?
All right.
Yeah, let us know, Brother Rogers, which meeting you're talking about. He said, interview Angela Davis and guarantee listenership will go up. Yeah, I bet.
Man, we love that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We're going to go ahead and get out of here, man. For any of the rest of the haps that we have, we'll definitely put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. If you have haps, please do that as well. And we're still working on trying to gather our own calendar of haps together as well. And so we can, make it so there's one place on our new website where you can come and look and see what's going on in town. But we're working on that. So stay tuned for that. Everybody's support is what makes that kind of stuff happen, makes those things grow. So we appreciate everybody's support, especially the $10, $25, $50 members of the channel that have that come out of their account every month in order to support us. We really appreciate that. If you're so inclined, please do so as well. Go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button, and help this stay in the family, man. Stay owned by the fam. So appreciate that very much. Give us some more information, Miss Erica Felt, on the Las Chigonas market for tomorrow. I'd love to check that out as well and put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha. With that said, buddy, you got some words for the people?
Yeah. Again, remind Miss Erica Felt also reminding us to go ahead and go on the link on Friends of First Sky Omaha to leave a comment for Congress. Just a few days left to do that as far as getting support and resources and a bills passed for our child care providers out there and also for the families. Again, this will allow you to have to pay no more than 7% of your income towards child care. That's something we can all benefit from. So definitely make sure you go into the Friends of First Sky page, click that link and leave a comment. Even if you say, I just support this, that's all you got. That's all you got to do. And then also, I see Malik in the chat. You don't have to report back if you go to the Turn Back Tax meeting. Just go get some information. If you'd like to share it, feel free to do that. But we're not looking for a report. But yeah,
I'm looking for a report. You can report if you want to. Go
I mean, again, if you want to, but he's asking our content creators attending meetings to report back, and no, we don't have documenters type situation set up yet.
Right.
But we, hopefully in the future, that's what the idea is. So again, if you feel like you get some information that you want to use and go to a meeting and build your report, feel free to do that, but you're not required to. So there you go. All right. Without further ado, big shout out to Ali Peeler. Make sure we go into the OEAAs to vote. Thank her for coming through. And a shout out to all of you, man. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And catch the same time, same place, man. We'll have the senators on Monday. Definitely looking forward to that conversation. But in the meantime, in between time, peace.
Yeah, man.
Take it away.
Shout out to Mayor Sanchez, who's keeping track of what's going on YouTube for us over here. He says, have a blessed weekend, everyone. 221 subscribers. Again, we're trying to reach that 500, so we'll start spreading the word on that. He said 9 new this season. That's what's up.
Okay.
I like the fact that it's going, that, you know, we don't got no huge jump ups. I like the fact that it's going organically. People are subscribing if they like what's going on here. They're not just subscribing for subscribers' sake. So, you know, I love the numbers are real numbers and are steadily moving up. And we don't just want another 200, 300 listeners. 200 people subscribing. We want 200 people that are involved, engaged, listening, part of this conversation, commenting. Exactly. Yep. So tell a friend if you think it's anybody who wants to get in on these conversations and really be a part of these conversations, then please spread that to them as well. Pop says, thanks for a great week of shows. Thank you. Have a great weekend and see you all on Monday. Appreciate you, Pops. Miss Erica Phil says, great show. Please drink your water. Click the link in the Friends of First Sky Omaha. Leave a comment for Congress. Speak up. Speak out. Be good to yourselves. Thank you. Thank you. And also, I saw Brother Knight said, have a good weekend, fellas. You have a good weekend, too. Appreciate you very much. Thank you. And she said she'll spread the event in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Miss Erica Phil. Appreciate that very much. And hopefully we'll see you guys at the Turnback Tax meeting and at the 1024 meeting the next day, too. I'm going to try to hit all that.
Know some of you applied.
So thanks to the Maha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to be in this city and speak before them. I want to thank you guys, the chat chimers, for allowing us to speak with you. Really appreciate all of your comments. You guys are really the co-hosts here.
Yeah.
And I can't do it without you. So really appreciate that. If you missed any parts of this show, you can go back and watch it in its entirety on Facebook or YouTube. I will definitely check out the YouTube situation so we can see why we're not seeing all the comments for the previous shows. I'll see if I can get that fixed for you. I appreciate you bringing that up so we can check it out. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Don't forget, we're going to be talking to Brother Kasim from the BAA on Monday, as well as speaking to Brother Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne. Put some respect on their names when they come in on Monday and talk about what's going on with this big DED announcement. So lots happening. Take it all in. Get yourself together. Get yourself ready. Stay cool over the weekend if you can. Still hot out here. And just in general, man, just take care of yourselves. And we really appreciate you coming through. And you guys have a good one. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any means necessary.